Hello, guys, it's your favorite fourth generation of imbecile. If you know, you know. Completely overturned Buck v. Bell. Um, nah, man, I've just wanted to get on here and make a video, um, today about a worrying trend. And if you're a longtime viewer, like I'm talking OG, I mean the first, like within the first 40 subscribers to this channel, you'll know that before I started grad school, I already made a video about this 2 years ago in July of 2022. And that's the new eugenics. Um, and first of all, what was or what is eugenics? Eugenics is, and it comes from the Greek eu, which means good, and then I think genos is like a kind or something that's born, so it means well born. Um and it's basically just the belief that you can improve the human race by naturally, or I'm sorry, artificially selecting certain traits um from certain populations and then just simply uh letting others die out. Um and this was a movement that was extremely popular in the early late 19th and early 20th centuries. And it sounds really good in theory, like a lot of things sound good in theory, right? But the problem is that, you know, who's to decide what traits are good, are desirable? You know what I mean? Um, Back in the day, they used to think that all mentally ill people should just be sterilized and not allowed to reproduce and stuff like that. Imagine if we thought that today. Imagine if that was a thing. Well, it was a thing. And it also targeted people like me. I have cerebral palsy. My condition isn't even hereditary, dog. But because of their over reliance on appearance, and that's exactly what it is. It's just, all this quote unquote black pill stuff taken to its logical conclusion. They said that my life and the lives of thousands of others, especially under a certain German regime, but also a certain American regime too, or a lot of them. Not even just some, because in the US, it didn't get to the point of the G word, but it got to the point of sterilizations of millions of, and all this also matters because I'm Latino. I pass as white, okay, but I'm not. I'm mixed race. I'm a mestizo. Um, Literally millions of black and Latino and American Indian people were included under this. And you say to yourself, oh, but that was back in, at the beginning of last century. That could never happen today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, sorry to say, but it could very well happen today. With CRISPR, with gene editing technology, Um, and I'm so conflicted about that because on the one hand, man, I saw like an article about a kid that he had his sickle cell disease cured. Um, and that's with gene editing, and that's great, guys. That's great. Like, you know, um, now I will say that sickle cell disease, sub-Saharan African people evolved to have, or obviously not all sub-Saharan, because it's sometimes in the north you find it a little bit, but it's mostly sub-Saharan. But they evolved to have that mutation because it gives you malaria resistance. Um, so in the original um homeland of African Americans and other African descended people, it existed because of that malaria resistance that it gave people. And but obviously when you are the victim of a certain trade that started at least um in the Americas in the mid 1500s and in North America in 1619, obviously um today it's not as common, so you're left with a conundrum, this like terribly painful quote unquote disease slash adaptation in a place where it's no longer necessary. Of course, I wholeheartedly agree with that. But the thing is, scientists have never been individuals to weigh ethics. I'm sorry, especially against minorities. White people have like historically not done that. You know, I can talk about Tuskegee. I can talk about um all these other different types of experiments. I can talk about Henrietta Lacks. I can talk about many of the, like I said, 30% of the Puerto Rican population was sterilized by the colonial US government. And you know, honestly, I have to be honest with you. As a disabled person, as a disabled Latino, I think they could do it again. I'm sorry, and I'm very scared. And um, especially with the normalization of eugenic content, aka looksmaxxing, on the web, bro, it's not looking good for the um for the younger generation at all. How can we combat this? And really, the only effective solution that I can think of, and if you can think of more, let me know in the comments. But like, it's proper biological education. I find that the most troubling aspect of all of this is that people really don't understand how complicated human heredity really is. The most they can say are like the Punnett squares, the dominant and recessive. But the thing is, like, that works with simple organisms, guys. Like, I I I don't know. But last time I checked, I am not a pea pod. Humans are not peas. This isn't Mendel. There are so many genes that interact in so many ways which we still don't understand. Calm down before you get behind like gene editing and stuff like that. Like, just take a second and step back and realize, guys, like, we've only had access to the human genome for around 25 years, guys. There's still so much to learn, and now don't even get me started on the brain. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'm scared of the new eugenics. This much more directly effective new eugenics that I'm sure is gonna crop up. Mark my words. Mark my words. Um, in probably the next 20 years, maybe even the next 15. And I'm only 26, guys, so the late 30s, early 40s for disabled people around my age is gonna be an interesting time for sure. Um, but anyway, please do what you can to further honest biological education in the the area of heredity. Okay, bye.